Hey everybody, this is Keith Gleason, host of Indie Comics Relay, creator of the Mighty Mascots, and promoter for the Plastic City Comic Con. And I'm here with another comic review. Before we get into that, just a reminder that Mighty Mascots number 10 triple size anniversary issue is still live on Indiegogo in demand. And it will be for at least the next few months as we make the book and make the figures. Everything's coming along fine. I posted an update last week about the progress. So if you want to check that out, and if you haven't backed already, check it out. This is going to be a great issue. The two backup stories and the main story, all of them are great. So it's going to just be a lot of fun, and it's a big issue. You know, a little bit of an infight between the Mighty Mascots. So a little bit of a status quo change. You know. Also, check out Plastic City Comic Con. That is live on the website. We are taking registration, and tables are starting to fill up. We're probably about 50% sold out at this point, which is amazing for January. So check that out. And the guest list is starting to build on the guest list tab, so you can check that out there. PlasticCityComicCon.com. All right, let's get into this week's review. This week, I am reviewing the Universal Monsters Frankenstein issue number 1. This is put out by Skybound Entertainment through Image Comics. It's a 4-issue miniseries. The writer, artist, and cover artist on this is Michael Walsh. The colorist on this is Tony Marie Griffin. And the letterer is Becca Carey. All right, so let me read the synopsis for the Frankenstein. Now, this is based off the classic Universal Monsters movie from Universal back in the 1930s. And this is the premise. Award-winning creator Michael Walsh, who did The Silver Coin, presents an electrifying new vision of the horror classic. Each issue of the limited series tells the shocking story behind one of the body parts used to create the unforgettable monster in the original film. In this first issue, Dr. Henry Frankenstein begins his unholy quest to create life by robbing the grave of a decorated police officer. But little does he know that the corpse has a son who is mourning a father, and that this young boy will forever change Frankenstein's life. That is the premise or the synopsis from issue 1 off of the Skybound website. And I'll add a little more to that. So the thing I really love about this series, well, let me back up and say that I've enjoyed the Universal Monster miniseries that have come before this one. This is the 3rd miniseries from Skybound. The first mini was Dracula, which was done by James Tinney and Martin Simmons. And then The Creature from the Black Lagoon rises again, which is Ram V and Dan Waters. And I forget who the artist is on that, but I have reviewed those. If you want to check them out, they're on the channel. And this is the 3rd one. And I got to say, all 3 have been really solid. I think the biggest compliment I can pay these miniseries is they've been making me want to watch the Universal Monster movies again. I've seen a bunch of them in my lifetime, but apparently not all of them. I didn't realize like Frankenstein had like 6 and Dracula has 6. So there's a bunch. So I just found out that there's a nice big box set Blu-ray that has all of them in there. So I'm going to try to get my hands on that so I can revisit these great films. But back to this first issue of the Frankenstein comic, I really liked Michael Walsh's approach to this miniseries. So he did not want to do anything to disrupt the original film. So what he did was he sort of added a subplot or more fleshed out more to the movie. So like this is the stuff, if you were watching it on a Blu-ray, it'd probably be all the stuff that was cut out, but put it back in. This is like the director's cut of Frankenstein. And basically what he's exploring in this miniseries is the people that provided the different parts for Frankenstein. So in this first issue, he has this little kid character that is mourning for his father who had died. And he's in the graveyard when Dr. Frankenstein comes looking for parts to build his monster. And they talk about this kid's father's hands and how strong they were. And, you know, the kid laments about a toy that his father made for him, and now he can't do it anymore because his father's gone. And so you find out that the hands of Frankenstein belong to this father, and it was kind of like neat subplot. It's kind of cool to see it the way the series unfolds too, because it's like this story kind of takes place. If you're watching Frankenstein, it's on the edges of Frankenstein, like it's happening around the movie, which I thought was a really cool take. Like when you're watching the movie, you can kind of see like where the kid was, you know, in the scene and things like that. So I thought that was really neat. They did a similar premise with Star Wars like years back with a Dark Horse comic that was like called Tag and Bink Are Dead, and it was about these two specific stormtroopers that kind of ended up in every movie, and the comic kind of showed you how they weaved themselves between, you know, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And I thought that was a great idea, and this what this comic is kind of doing, which I thought was really cool. Artwork is really good. I'm not familiar with Michael Walsh. I have heard of the Silver Coin, which I believe was the anthology series about around a coin and different people landed with. So I'll have to go back and check that out. I did like his writing and art, though. I thought it was really cool, very clean artwork. It reminds me, it definitely feels like it has like a little bit of influence with like a Mike Mignola, that kind of style. Like it just, the colors are really cool in this as well. Like a lot of greens and reds, and it's colored kind of like a noir comic, which I really appreciate. You'll see some of the artwork as I'm doing this review, and he captures all the iconic scenes perfectly in the comics. I really love that. The lettering looks really nice. It's clear. It's quirky for the book, which I think is cool. And they get all the iconic sound effects in there, and it's alive, you know, when Dr. Frankenstein screams that, it's like in the background, really cool. Like that a lot. It's sort of in the vein of, if you've read the Dracula miniseries, a story, they found like a story in between the Dracula film. So this is kind of a little more further on that kind of approach with the Frankenstein, where they actually explore totally new characters and things like that, which I thought was really neat. I do like, I read all the back matter in all these books too. And in the letters page, the editor of these books talks about how Skybound has this rule in place for the Universal Monsters books, and the fact that the movies are canon, and you cannot do anything in these series to wreck the canon of the films. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I like that there's an editorial direction to keep these movies pure, which I appreciate as a fan. Also, I wanted to read you this paragraph from the creator, Michael Walsh. He did like a letter at the end of the issue talking about like his history with Frankenstein and his different ideas for it. And I just wanted to read you this one paragraph in particular where he talks about his approach for Frankenstein. So hang on one sec. I'm just going to find it here real quick. Okay, so here's what he wrote. So here is my approach. Take all these things people love about the original film and bring in my own warped storytelling to the table. I will introduce new characters, set pieces, and themes while still showcasing those big iconic moments that wowed the world back in 1931. This is a story about all the little pieces that make a monster, not just the hands, brain, heart, and eyes, but the grief, resentment, longing, and sometimes the love. I thought that was great. And I love this take. So this one gets my highest recommendation. Other things I wanted to mention here, that the next one that they're going to be doing is The Mummy. And now this is written by a new creator or a creator I've never read anything from before. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I'm looking forward also to see, because I remember The Mummy was never one of my favorite Universal movies, monster movies. So I'm looking to see if that comic will make me appreciate the movie a little more, or it might make me hate the movie a little more. So a future review to come once that's up for order this month in previews. So we probably won't see The Mummy #1 until probably about March sometime, but I am looking forward to it. And so would I recommend this book? Absolutely. I think this is this one's probably my favorite, actually, of all the Universal monsters they've done so far. Really I thought the artwork and story really went well together. Now the book is $4.99. It is about a 30-page count. There's some extras in the back, like a sketchbook from Michael Walsh of him, sketching out not Dracula, Frankenstein, and showing some of his line work, which I thought was really cool. There's also a letter from him talking to the reader about the series, what his plans were. And it's $4.99 is about the normal going rate now for a book, but also it's Skybound Entertainment, and I really feel like they do put care and effort into all the comics they create. I mean, I've been raving left and right about the Energon universe, and I just got the G.I. Joe box set that they just did. It's excellent. It's like the definitive version of G.I. Joe Marvel books, which I highly recommend if you can get your hands on. But yeah, I feel like the Universal monsters are in good hands with this company. So, but yeah, thumbs up, everybody. I think you should check out all of these books. The previous ones are in hardcover now if you want to pick them up. And they make great gifts. I just gave 2 to my brother-in-law at Christmas. And if you just want the reading collection, it's there. It's available for you. So, all right, everybody, that's it for this review. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please give us a like, subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate that. The channel's growing, and without you, we couldn't do that. So we appreciate anything you guys can add and help us with our algorithm and all that fun YouTube nonsense. So, all right, everybody, have a great week. Most importantly, read some comics, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey comic fans, if you love action, adventure, and fun stories, well, I have something amazing to show you. It's the Mighty Mascots issue 10, and it's not just any issue, it's the triple-sized anniversary edition. Imagine 3 times the usual story, filled with all the crazy fun and epic mascot adventures that you love, plus 2 special backup stories that dive deeper into the Mascots universe. And here's the coolest part, you can get a set of 8 3D printed toys of the Mighty Mascots. These are perfect for any collector. These aren't just any collectibles, they're for the biggest fans. Help bring this epic story to life and get these awesome extras. Don't miss out, mascot fans. Don't miss out, mascot fans. Don't miss out, mascot fans. Head to the link in bio and let's make the Mighty Mascot issue 10 unforgettable.